Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right, yet one small setback, a rude comment, a delayed flight, or a missed deadline, instantly hijacks your entire mood? It's exhausting to feel like your happiness is on a leash, pulled around by a world you can't control. But Napoleon Hill discovered a psychological cheat code used by history's most powerful people to stay completely unshakable. And today, I'm giving you the blueprint. We are going to dismantle the myth that joy is something that happens to you and replace it with a calculated system of mental sovereignty. We're diving deep into the foundation of a positive mental attitude, mastering the 24-hour rule to stop emotional leaks, and learning the alchemy of transmutation to turn your heaviest problems into your greatest leverage. Finally, I'll show you exactly how to stay composed when life tries to break your newfound peace. This isn't just about feeling good. It's about becoming untouchable. Before we start, I want to know who is ready to take the wheel. Commit to your own sovereignty right now. Drop a yes in the comments or leave our daily affirmation. I am the master of my mental state. Let's begin. The world is designed to drain you. From the moment you wake up, there is a silent war being waged for your attention, your energy, and your peace of mind. Most people walk through their lives like open bank accounts, allowing every headline, every rude comment, and every minor setback to withdraw their happiness until they are emotionally bankrupt. But what if I told you there is a vault, a psychological fortress that Napoleon Hill discovered, which makes you completely immune to the chaos of the outside world? This isn't about staying positive in a naive way. It's about a calculated, strategic takeover of your own internal narrative. The truth is, your mind is the only piece of real estate in the entire universe that you have absolute, total control over. Think about that. You can't control the economy, you can't control your boss, and you certainly can't control the past. But the space between your ears, that is your kingdom. Most people live as refugees in their own minds, reacting to the weather of their lives. If things go well, they feel good. If things go poorly, they crumble. This is a weak way to live. Napoleon Hill's success secret starts with a foundation of positive mental attitude, PMA, which is really just a fancy term for mental sovereignty. To be happy every day, you must stop being a victim of your environment and start being the architect of it. You have to realize that happiness is a profit you earn through the discipline of your thoughts. If you don't give your mind a specific script to follow, the world will hand you a tragedy. What if I told you that you are currently leaking power? Every time you replay an argument from 3 days ago, or worry about a meeting 3 weeks from now, you are bleeding the only currency that actually matters, your present energy. Most people are haunted by ghosts of the past or shadows of the future, leaving them exhausted before their day even begins. But Napoleon Hill discovered a psychological circuit breaker, a way to shut off the noise and reclaim your life. It's called the 24-hour rule, and once you apply it, you become functionally untouchable. The 24-hour rule is the ultimate strategy for mental sovereignty. It is built on a simple, brutal truth. You cannot win a war on 100 different fronts. If you are trying to solve yesterday's regrets and tomorrow's anxieties at the same time, you will lose today. To be happy every day, no matter what, you must learn to live in a day-tight compartment. Imagine your life as a ship. To stay afloat in a storm, you must shut the iron doors between the sections of the ship so that a leak in one area doesn't sink the whole vessel. This rule is your iron door. It means that from the moment the sun rises until the moment it sets, your only responsibility is the mastery of those 24 hours. If a setback occurs at 10 a.m., a deal falls through, someone insults you, or you face a financial hurdle, you apply the rule immediately. You give yourself zero room for a pity party. Instead, you acknowledge the event and then place it into a 24-hour containment zone. You decide that for the next day, your only job is to transmute that problem into a plan. Think about the leverage this gives you. While everyone else is spiraling into weeks of depression or months of what-ifs, you have capped your downside at a single day. You are essentially telling the universe, you can disturb my afternoon, but you cannot have my week. This is how you build a fortress of mental peace. You stop treating your mind like a trash can for every external event and start treating it like a high-performance laboratory. We've all had those nights where we lie awake, staring at the ceiling, playing out scenarios that will probably never happen. That is a violation of your sovereignty. The 24-hour rule demands that you close the books at the end of every day. Whatever happened today stays in today. Whatever is coming tomorrow belongs to tomorrow. When you put your head on the pillow, your mind must be a clean slate. This isn't just about being calm, it's about being strategic. A mind that is constantly reacting is a mind that can be manipulated. But a mind that operates within the 24-hour rule is a mind that is always focused, always composed, and always ready to act. You are no longer a leaf blowing in the wind of circumstance. You are the wind. By narrowing your focus to the immediate present, you strip away the weight that keeps most people paralyzed. To be happy, no matter what, isn't a magic trick. It's a discipline of containment. It's the refusal to let an ejected bad moment turn into a bad life. When you master the next 24 hours, you realize that happiness isn't something you find. It's something you protect with a vengeance. You are the commander of this time block. Own it, defend it, and watch how quickly your world begins to bend to your will. Have you ever noticed how a single bad comment at 9 a.m. can somehow still be ruining your dinner at 7 p.m.? It's like a drop of ink in a glass of water. One tiny moment of negativity manages to stain your entire day, your sleep, and even your next morning. Most people are living in a state of emotional spillover, where the stress from last Tuesday is still muddying up their potential for today. But Napoleon Hill's most effective disciples used a psychological firewall that stops the bleed instantly. It's a method of radical containment that ensures your peace isn't just a lucky break, but a mathematical certainty. To truly dive deep into the 24-hour rule, you have to stop looking at time as a continuous stream and start looking at it as a series of isolated containers. Imagine your life as a high-rise building. If a fire starts on the 4th floor, the goal of the building's design isn't just to put the fire out. It's to prevent it from reaching the 5th floor. Most people don't have these fire doors. When something goes wrong, they let the heat rise until the whole building is gone. Mental sovereignty is the act of slamming those iron doors shut. The deep mechanics of this rule require you to embrace a day-tight philosophy. This means that your mental and emotional jurisdiction ends at midnight. You are the judge, jury, and executioner of your own peace, but your sentence for any frustration is capped at one single sun cycle. If you face a setback, you don't suppress the emotion. That's a recipe for a breakdown later. Instead, you quarantine it. You tell yourself, I have exactly until the end of this 24-hour block to process this, learn from it, and transmute it. Once the clock resets, this version of me and this problem no longer exist in the same room. Think about the sheer psychological leverage this gives you. When you know that your pain has an expiration date, it loses its power over you. The reason fear and stress are so paralyzing is that they feel infinite. We think, what if I always feel this way? Or, what if this ruins everything? The 24-hour rule provides an immediate, definitive no to those questions. It forces you to operate with a sense of urgency. If you only have today to find the seed of benefit in a problem, you stop wasting time complaining and start digging for the solution. This rule also protects your mental capital. Every bit of energy you spend worrying about a problem that happened yesterday is energy you are stealing from a solution you could create today. You are essentially embezzling from your own future. By diving deep into this 24-hour containment, you ensure that you show up to every new morning with a full bank account of focus. You become a person who is perpetually fresh, perpetually ready, and perpetually dangerous to your competition, because you don't carry the weight of previous rounds. In the ghost phase of your development, this rule is your strongest weapon. It allows you to withdraw from the world's noise and focus entirely on your own sovereignty. You aren't just ignoring the world, you are managing your interaction with it with surgical precision. You decide what gets in, and more importantly, you decide when it has to leave. Mastering the 24-hour rule means you stop being a history book of your own failures and start being a blueprint for your own success. You close the books every night. You settle your emotional debts. You forgive yourself for the mistakes of the day, and you wake up as a brand new architect ready to build a new empire from scratch. This isn't just time management, it's soul management. And once you master it, you'll realize that forever is just a string of well-managed todays. Most people look at a problem and see a wall. They see a dead end, a reason to quit, or a sign that they aren't meant to succeed. But what if I told you that every bad thing that has ever happened to you, the betrayals, the failures, the moments of absolute frustration, is actually raw material? Imagine having the ability to take lead and turn it into gold. Napoleon Hill called this the alchemy of transmutation, and it is the ultimate cheat code for the human mind. It is the secret of the world's most powerful people, the ability to extract value from pain so that nothing is ever truly wasted. The concept of alchemy is often misunderstood as some mystical ancient ritual, but in the realm of success, it is a cold, hard psychological tool. Most people are consumers of their experiences. They take what life gives them and they suffer through it. But the alchemist is a producer. The alchemist looks at a disaster and asks one specific, dangerous question. Where is the equivalent benefit? Napoleon Hill's most famous observation was that every adversity, every failure, and every heartache carries with it the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. Note that he didn't say it carries the fruit. It carries the seed. A seed is small, it's buried in the dirt, and it requires work to grow. If you just sit there crying about the dirt, you never see the tree. Transmutation is the act of digging through the mess of your life to find that seed and planting it immediately. Think about a moment when you felt truly defeated. Maybe someone you trusted walked away, or a project you spent months on collapsed in an afternoon. To the average person, that is a tragedy. To the alchemist, that is fuel. Anger is just energy. Frustration is just energy. Even grief is just energy. When you feel that heat in your chest, you have a choice. You can let it burn you from the inside out, or you can transmute it, funnel it into your work, your health, or your growth. You take that raw, chaotic emotion and give it a specific, constructive direction. This is how you become truly untouchable. When you master the alchemy of transmutation, you stop fearing bad days because you know that a bad day is just a shipment of raw materials for a better future. You start to look at your critics, your rivals, and your setbacks as your greatest contributors. They are providing the friction you need to sharpen your edge. Without the resistance of the wind, a plane cannot lift off. Without the resistance of your struggles, you cannot rise to the next level of your sovereignty. Establishing this mindset requires a radical shift in your internal dialogue. You have to stop being reasonable. A reasonable person accepts the situation for what it is. An alchemist demands that the situation serve them. If you are stuck in a ghost phase of isolation, you don't mourn the social life you lost. You celebrate the absolute focus you've gained. If you face a financial hurdle, you don't obsess over the lack. You obsess over the new, creative ways you are forced to generate value. You are essentially hacking the laws of cause and effect. The world wants you to be predictable. It wants you to stay down when you're hit. But when you apply the alchemy of transmutation, you become an anomaly. You become a person who actually thrives on pressure. You start to realize that happiness isn't the absence of problems, it's the mastery of them. It is the deep, quiet satisfaction of knowing that no matter what the world throws at you, you have the laboratory in your mind ready to turn that trash into treasure. This is the hidden pillar of the millionaire mindset. Wealthy, successful people aren't lucky. They are just better at extracting the seed of benefit than everyone else. They don't have fewer problems. They just have better transmutation habits. They take the no and turn it into a how. They take the loss and turn it into a lesson. And they do it with a smile because they know that the more intense the fire, the purer the gold. So the next time you feel the weight of the world on your shoulders, don't ask for the weight to be removed. Ask yourself, how can I use this pressure to create a diamond? This is your birthright. This is your power. You aren't just a witness to your life. You are the alchemist. Turn the pain into power. Turn the chaos into clarity. And never, ever let a good crisis go to waste. Let's be honest. If staying happy and unshakable were easy, everyone would be doing it. But look around. Most people are stressed, reactive, and one bad email away from a total meltdown. Why? Because the world doesn't want you to be peaceful. It wants you distracted, emotional, and easy to influence. When you decide to take command of your mind, you are going to face a specific set of tests designed to pull you back into the chaos. But here is the secret. These challenges aren't walls. They are the weight room for your soul. If you want a mind that can weather any storm, you have to learn how to face the resistance without breaking. The first challenge you'll face is the gravity of the average. When you start practicing the 24-hour rule or the alchemy of transmutation, the people around you might not like it. Your newfound calm will act as a mirror to their own chaos. They might call you cold, unrealistic, or tell you that you're in denial. This is a trap. The world loves company in its misery. Your challenge is to maintain your frequency even when everyone else is trying to tune you into theirs. You have to realize that you don't owe anyone your stress. Protecting your peace isn't selfish. It's a prerequisite for being effective. To face this, you must build a strategic silence. You don't need to explain your new mindset to people who aren't ready to understand it. Just live it. Let your results be the only argument you ever make. The second challenge is the ego's addiction to drama. There is a part of your brain, the old primitive part, that actually gets a hit from being upset. It likes the adrenaline of an argument and the self-pity of a failure. When you try to apply Napoleon Hill's principles, your own ego will fight you. It will whisper that you should be angry, that you have a right to be miserable. To face this, you have to become a third-party observer of your own emotions. When you feel that surge of frustration, don't say, "I am angry." Say, "I am experiencing the sensation of anger." This small shift in language creates the distance you need to stay in control. You are the sky. The emotions are just clouds passing through. The sky doesn't try to hold on to the clouds, and it certainly doesn't let a storm define it. The third and perhaps most difficult challenge is the unexpected strike. It's easy to be positive when things are going 90% your way, but the real test comes when life hits you in the blind spot, a sudden loss, a betrayal, or a health scare. This is where most people abandon their philosophy and revert to being a victim. But this is exactly when your 24-hour rule is most lethal. You face these moments by anticipating them. Napoleon Hill talked about autosuggestion, which is essentially pre-programming your mind. You have to decide now, while things are calm, what your protocol will be when things get heavy. You don't wait for the fire to start to build the sprinkler system. You face the unexpected by having a pre-written script for your soul. This is happening, it is temporary, and I will find the seed of benefit. Facing these challenges requires a shift from a software mindset to a hardware mindset. Most people think happiness is a software update, a new book, a new quote, or a new video. But true mental peace is a hardware upgrade. It's about changing the very structure of how you process reality. It means being willing to be the villain in someone else's story, if it means keeping your internal world intact. It means being okay with being misunderstood. It means realizing that no matter what is a literal command, not a suggestion. The final challenge is The test of consistency. You will have days where you fail. You'll have days where you let the world get to you, where you break the 24-hour rule, and where you forget your alchemy. The average person uses a failure as an excuse to quit entirely. They say, well, I tried to be positive and it didn't work. But the high-performance mind treats a slip-up like a minor course correction for a rocket. If a rocket goes off course by 1 degree, the pilot doesn't blow up the ship. They just nudge it back. You face your own failures with immediate forgiveness and immediate refocus. You have to understand that you are in a permanent ghost phase with the world's negativity. You are here, you are participating, but you are not of it. You are operating on a different frequency. When the challenges come, and they will, look them in the eye and smile. Not because you're faking it, but because you know something they don't. That every bit of resistance is just more energy for you to transmute. You are the alchemist. You are the master of the 24-hour block, and you are, quite literally, untouchable, as long as you refuse to give up the keys to your fortress. The struggle isn't a sign that you're doing it wrong. It's the proof that you're doing it right. Gold is only purified in the heat. Embrace the heat. It's the only way to make sure your happiness isn't just a temporary mood, but a permanent state of power. If you're ready to stop being a victim of your environment and start being the architect of your own peace, hit that subscribe button. We don't just talk about success here. We build the mental fortress required to sustain it. Join the inner circle. I want to see who is actually applying the 24-hour rule. If you've survived a fire today but refuse to let it reach your next floor, drop a fireproof in the comments. Let's see how many of us are taking command. Don't let this be just another video you consume. Transmute this information into action. If you found the seed of benefit in today's session, share this with one person who needs to reclaim their sovereignty. I'll see you in the next 24 hours.